I know we've talked life cycle already a bit before, but can we sort of go through the stages of the turtle lifestyle, the
Mhm.
sea turtle lifestyle? Because it's like
It's so cool.
one of the coolest, one of the coolest things in the animal kingdom. But can we start with that, like that first stage of the egg laying? The female turtle pulls up
Mhm.
to the shore, grinds up against the sand or the rocks, and then what's going on from that point to laying the eggs?
So yeah, the female should come up onto the beach. As she's coming out of the water, she's checking every couple of seconds when she takes a breath for predators. So they crawl a few meters,
Mm-hmm.
take a breath, look around, keep crawling. That's when you need to be the most cautious of sea turtles, is when they first come out of the water, because they're really close to the water, so it's easy for them to turn around and go back in. They come up to the dunes, and what I notice the most is as soon as they start to feel the grass on their face is when they start the body pitting process.
Mm-hmm.
So in areas where the dunes were more bare sand, they basically kept going over the dune until they got to a place that was grassy, and then they started digging. So it's really interesting. I think maybe something
Uh-huh.
to do with the fact that if grass is there, they know that there might not be another clutch there. It's another way that they can get disturbed is as
Mm-hmm.
they're digging, if they encounter another clutch of eggs under the sand, often, not
Mm.
always, but often that can disturb them. They'll go, "What's that?" And then they stop, and then they go dig somewhere else, or they go back into the
Huh.
water. And then basically the
Mm-hmm.
first process is that body pitting part. So they're basically almost doing like a swimming action on the sand to move the soft surface sand out of the way with all four of their flippers, and they do that for anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, depending on what turtle they are. If you're a hawksbill turtle, it's like 5 seconds. They don't really put a lot of effort into it. The green turtles love body pitting. They often will dig 3 to 4 body pits before they actually pick a spot where they want to nest, which is really weird.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then once they've dug that body pit, then they start egg chambering, which is only using their back flippers. And they basically use it like a scoop. So they scoop their foot like this or their flipper like this, pull it out, pull the sand to the side, scoop the next foot in. And as they put this one to the side, they scoop that sand away, and then they put that foot back in.
Uh-huh.
And put that to the side, scoop that sand away, and then put their foot in. So it's really interesting, that process. They do it all completely like not looking at what they're doing. A first time nesting female knows exactly the process of what to do, which I find that incredible.
Huh.
Just shows how innate their behavior is.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
once they dig down to where they can no longer reach any further, so if you're a green turtle, that can be up to a meter. If she's really large, she can put her foot down to a meter. And then they start laying.
Huh.
And then after they've finished laying the eggs, at this point you've already, if it's a green turtle, this is like you started at 7 p.m. and it's already midnight. If it's a hawksbill turtle, it's probably only been an hour, so they're much faster
Mm-hmm.
because they're smaller. And then after they finish laying, they start backfilling the nest with sand, so pushing sand back down the hole. This is my favorite part of the nesting process because basically when she pushes all that soft sand in, she basically does this like cool little like patty cake like motion with her feet. She's so gentle, like it's like she's like tucking them into bed, like she's just like, and then she kind of does like a little booty pop as well at the same time because she's like using her shell to pat down the sand as well. And so basically what she's done in that,
That's
yeah, what
amazing.
she's done in that process is most of the egg chamber, which is the channel from the nest all the way up, is like soft sand. And then that top 20 centimeters is compacted hard sand. So if another turtle, or obviously not a person, but in evolution, but if a person was to step on that spot where the nest was, they'd have to step really hard in order to break that hard surface sand that's been compacted. So it basically protects the nest from being collapsed inwards. So pretty cool. And then
Yeah.
the next part is kind of like a term that some people use, some people don't use. It's like disguising the nest. We don't really know if she's actually disguising the nest, but backfilling is also another name. Where basically like they're channeling
Mhm.
away from that body pit that they've made. And in that motion, they're pushing. It looks similar to body pitting, where they're pushing all the sand in front of them, behind them, and that they're moving
Mhm.
forward at the same time. And then the place where they leave the body pit is different to where the actual body pit is. So they basically backfilled the real body pit and left a fake body pit behind, and then they crawl back to the ocean. So that's why people call it
That's
like
so cool.
disguising, because yeah, if like a fox or a predator or something comes along, they're probably going to try and look in the first spot, which is that body pit. But it's all just hard compacted sand because no one's dug there. Um, but yeah,
Cool.
and then the eggs incubate for anywhere from 45 to 70 days. It really depends on the temperature. It's just like cooking a cake. If you turn the temperature down really low, the cake cooks really slowly. And in turtles,
Mm.
the hatchlings actually get bigger. So the longer that they're incubated for, the hatchling carapace, the size of them will actually be bigger. And the reason for that is because they've had more time to convert the yolk into actual tissue. Whereas if they are in a hot nest, and it's only about a 45-day incubation period, they're quite small. And because they haven't had as much time to put all of that yolk into tissue.